This inquiry preview will help you prepare the Animals Move activity. This research activity will require 5 minutes of prep time, will take about 30 minutes to complete, and works best when students are placed in small groups. The purpose of this activity is for students to conduct research and build a model to show how an animal moves. Each part of an animal serves a role. Each structure has a function or contributes to a function that keeps the animal alive. All living things share certain characteristics: organization, growth, reproduction, the need for food, excretion of waste, respiration, and the ability to respond to stimuli. Each animal structure in some way helps accomplish one of these life processes. As you prepare for this activity, complete this checklist before class starts. First, gather the materials. Along with the student materials, you may want to use a hole punch instead of scissors to poke holes for the brass fasteners. For each student group, you will need construction paper, brass fasteners, scissors, and a marker. Prepare your research materials ahead of time. Gather a variety of nonfiction books from the library. If needed, reserve your technology cart or lab. Vet and bookmark appropriate websites for students to access while researching. A teacher-made example is highly recommended. Ensure students understand why the moving parts must be cut from a different sheet of paper than the main structure of the animal. To make an example, draw the body of an animal on one colored piece of paper and draw its moving parts on a second, different colored piece of paper. Make sure students realize that without 2 sheets of paper, there will be no place to attach the moving part. If students make an error in the assembly of their animal, allow them to brainstorm how to fix the model. Students may not have experience using brass fasteners. Make sure you explain and demonstrate how to use a brass fastener to connect your animal's moving parts to its body. To help ensure a smooth activity, include these topics in your pre-activity discussion with your class. Engage students by explaining that they will be researching and making a model of an animal of their choice. To make sure all students understand the procedure, model each step for the class. As mentioned before, be sure to model how to use brass fasteners. Explain to students that even though their animal will have many moving parts, to only focus on 1 or 2 to include in their model. Point out during the inquiry rewind that even though a cat's tail and head move, the student in the video focused only on the animal structures that help it move, the cat's legs. Explain that students will not be cutting until their animal drawing has been approved by you. If students draw only one picture, after they cut out the moving parts, they will have nowhere to attach them. Students should follow the procedure for this activity. However, here are a few key ideas to make this activity successful. As students complete their research and record their ideas in the table, be sure they have an understanding of the structures their animals use to move. Extra materials for this activity, such as brass fasteners, can be collected and stored for later activities. Paper scraps can be recycled. Students should have observed that structures such as legs, fins, and wings allow the animal to move. When students have finished, bring them together to discuss their findings. If some students were unable to view the expected observations, show the Inquiry Rewind student video before starting the discussion. Then, use the questions in the Teacher's Edition to guide your discussion.